They are tiny, they are pretty much everywhere, and they are without a doubt two of the most dangerous animals on the entire planet. In this explainer, we are diving deep into the world of Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus mosquitoes to really understand how they're causing a massive global health crisis.
Okay, so first things first, let's just try to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this threat. We are not talking about some simple backyard pests here. Nope, these two species are driving a worldwide health crisis. And what's scary is that it's expanding at an absolutely alarming rate. And to put a number on it, just in 2024 alone, the World Health Organization reported a staggering 14 million dengue cases across the globe. And get this, an unprecedented 90% of those cases were right here in the Americas. You know, what is truly wild is that this massive global health problem impacting millions and millions of people is almost entirely the work of just two super efficient and, frankly, rapidly expanding types of insect. So who exactly are these culprits? Well, being able to identify them is the first step, and the good news is these two species have some really distinct characteristics, if you know what you're looking for. Right, so on one side we have Aedes aegypti, which you might know as the yellow fever mosquito. And on the other, we've got Aedes albopictus, the very recognizable Asian tiger mosquito. And while they're both a huge problem, they actually have different origins and behaviors. Biologically speaking, they're what we call ectoparasites. That just means they feed on the outside of their host. But here's a crucial little detail. It's only the females that are parasitic. See, they need the protein from our blood to produce their eggs. The males, they're perfectly happy just sipping on plant nectar. And if we get a little nerdy for a second and look at their formal classification, you can see they both belong to the same genus, Aedes. And that shared family tree, well, it explains why their methods of operation are so similar, yet also distinct. And this is the dead giveaway if you want to tell them apart. You got to look at their upper body. The Aedes aegypti has this kind of beautiful but menacing lyre or violin shape. The Aedes albopictus, on the other hand, is all about that single, sharp, silver-white stripe running right down the middle. Can't miss it. So the big question is, how on earth have these tiny little insects become such successful global invaders? Well, let me tell you, their success is no accident. It's the result of a perfectly adapted life cycle and this uncanny ability to exploit our modern world. Their entire life is this four-part journey. It all starts with an egg, which then hatches into a larva that lives in the water. That larva transforms into a pupa, and then finally it emerges as the flying adult we all know that we all know. And those first three stages, they are 100% dependent on water. But here is their secret weapon. This is the real game changer. Their eggs are unbelievably tough. Females lay them just above the waterline in, say, a flower pot or an old tire, and those eggs can survive being completely dry for months, sometimes up to a whole year, just waiting for the next rain to hatch. That is their ticket to ride all around the world. You know, the Netherlands is a perfect case study of how this works. The Asian tiger mosquito has shown up there again and again, all through global trade. They've hitched rides in the little pools of water and imported used tires, and even in the water used to ship lucky bamboo plants all the way from China. And now, they're simply being driven across the border in cars and trucks from places where they're already established. And this threat is so real, so immediate, that the Dutch National Institute for Public Health has basically come out and said that their permanent establishment is no longer a question of if, but when. They actually see it as inevitable and in the very near future. So, this all brings us to the fight back, because the traditional ways of doing things just aren't cutting it anymore. Scientists are being forced to develop a whole new generation of really creative solutions. You see, the mosquitoes are getting wise. They're developing resistance to our insecticides, which means we can't just spray our way out of this problem anymore. The failure of these old methods has really forced a pivot towards some seriously cutting-edge tech that uses the mosquito's own biology against it. Okay, so one of the most promising new tools is a natural bacterium called Wolbachia, and there are two main ways to use it. First is population suppression. You release infected males, and when they mate with wild females, the eggs just aren't viable. The population crashes. The second strategy is population replacement. Here, you release both infected males and females to create a new wild population that carries Wolbachia, which basically acts like a vaccine for the mosquito, blocking it from being able to transmit viruses like dengue. Pretty clever, right? Another really advanced technique is called RIDL, which stands for release of insects with a dominant lethal. With this method, genetically modified males are released into the wild. They mate with the local females, but they pass on a special gene that prevents their babies from ever growing up into adults. It's essentially a highly specific form of mosquito birth control. So you put all this together, and it raises a really fascinating and honestly a really hopeful final question. I mean, we've gone from just swatting and spraying to literally editing genes and deploying bacteria. Are these incredible breakthroughs finally tipping the scales in our favor in this long, long war against mosquito-borne disease? Just so you know, we compiled all the research for this explainer using advanced search tools. And if you'd like to dive deeper into any of these fascinating and frankly vital topics, you can find a complete list of all our sources in the document that's linked right below. We really hope you found this breakdown informative. This is such a critical and fast-moving issue, so we'd encourage you to subscribe to stay updated. And please, join the conversation. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave your feedback below. Thanks for watching.